On the news tonight, Nigerians react as federal government revives Port Harcourt refinery. INEC to prosecute electoral offenders and their sponsors. President William Ruto of Kenya removes petrol subsidy. Good evening, welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, has restated federal government's commitment to revive the old Port Harcourt refinery in Rivers State by December this year. Silva hinted at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said the development of the compressed natural gas is still in progress, adding that the old refinery in Port Harcourt with 60,000 barrels per day capacity will be functional by the end of the year, as both Warri and Kaduna refineries are also progressing. He further assured that the ministry is working assiduously to ensure that everything is put in place before the end of the year. The federal government has been advised to tackle the menace of crude oil theft in the Niger Delta region to diversify the country's economy in order to save it from total collapse. Those who spoke with OSBC News were reacting to the report about the revitalization of Port Harcourt refinery to make it functional by December this year, maintained that curbing criminalities in the oil sector should be given utmost priority. Our reporter, Oluchi Amura, now completes the story.
Administrations have had to put in different measures to tackle the menace of oil bunkering, pipeline vandalization, illegal refineries that are negatively affecting the revenue drive of the nation. However, the activities of criminals involved in oil theft have assumed an alarming dimension, as the crude oil is now stolen in larger proportion, unlike what was obtained in the past.
In terms of crushing these illegal refining sites, we have crushed thousands of them. As you are destroying one site, before you get to the other one, another one is springing up again.
Recent reports from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, indicate that Nigeria loses 470,000 barrels of crude oil, amounting to $700 million monthly due to oil theft. The issue is becoming more heightened as the Nigerian foreign reserves continue to deplete and the country going deeper and deeper into both local and international debt. Reacting to today's development, an economist, Dr. Yinka Anjus, who commended the federal government's move to revitalize the Port Harcourt refinery and make it functional before the end of this year, alleged that it will be difficult for criminals to successfully cut away the nation's crude oil without the knowledge of the powers that be. According to him, those saddled with the responsibility of securing the environment should be held accountable for any loss recorded in the sector.
What I subscribe to was like, you see, there is this common theft that used to happen in Lagos that time when there is a big party going on. So these small thieves will be removing tires from vehicles that are parked. If you shout on them, why do you say, my friend, go and remove your own? It is like that. The people that were supposed to stop them are also stealing. That is my submission. That's what because otherwise it should not have first started to this extent.
Speaking in the same vein, another analyst, Dr. David Ogunshade, stated that one of the surest ways of revamping the country's dying economy is to invest heavily in agriculture. He maintained that it is regrettable that government has continued to pay lip service to the issue of diversification while the country continues to plunge deeper and deeper into debt.
The problem we are having is self-made because we neglected productive and agricultural economy for a very long time. Let us take just one crop, cassava. If fully utilized and developed, can offset the international debt incurred by Nigeria in the last few years. For example, we have several thousands of or even millions of hectares arable land in Nigeria. And as we know, cassava can grow anywhere in Nigeria. If just cassava is developed, let us talk about the products, the byproduct generated from cassava. From cassava, you can get starch, ethanol, cassava flour, and the rest.
They called on the federal government to work the tug in its promise to make the moribund refineries work again and not mere political statements. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Following the ongoing strike of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, the leadership of ASU met with the Committee of Vice Chancellors and Pro-Chancellors of Universities over lingering crises. It was gathered that the meeting was proposed by the peace team set up by the Vice Chancellors. Reports say that the peace team comprises past Vice Chancellors and Pro-Chancellors. The meeting was held at the National Universities Commission and all the issues were raised. The issue of funding, the release of the Revitalization Fund, the withheld salaries, adjustment of salaries, and most importantly, ending strike permanently in universities. Meanwhile, at the strike embarked upon by members of ASU continues to linger, Nigerians have been urged to remain optimistic about the future of education in the country as the stakeholders deliberate on amicable resolution of the crisis. The Vice Chancellor of Osun State University, Professor Clement Adeboye, who stated this while speaking in an interview with OSBC News shortly after participating on the Yoruba Current Affairs program, Kajoso, debunked insinuations that the strike action was deliberately prolonged by ASU because their children are not schooling in public schools and universities in Nigeria.
I guess those allegations are not related at all to what I'm reading in the papers and those things that I know about the university system. They are not. It's just that people want universities to be run in a way that we allow for effectiveness and efficiency, not because people want universities abroad to grow at the expense of universities in Nigeria. Far from that, I don't think so.
Governor Adeboyega Oyetola has assured the management and staff of students of Osun State University, Osogbo, of his administration's commitment to continue to create an excellent working environment, which in turn will improve academic performance of the state-owned tertiary institutions. Governor Oyetola also stressed that his administration has never interfered and will not in any way interfere in the day-to-day running of the university. The governor made this known at the main campus of Osun State University during the commissioning of the multidisciplinary laboratory project executed by the institution. The program was part of the series of activities lined up to mark the 11th convocation ceremony of the institution. Governor Oyetola was represented at the event by the Secretary of the State Government, Prince Oluwole Oyebamiji, commended all members of Osun State University Governing Board and the Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Clement Odunayo Adeboye, for the achievements and innovative ideas which over the years brought academic excellence and growth to Osun since its establishment, while charging the management of Osun State University to be creative in the area of revenue generation, as no government can all over the world can meet up with the challenges and wishes of any university. Governor Oyetola also assured the institution of the willingness of his administration to continue to give the needed support to its growth and development. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has suspended a strike ultimatum to the federal government to meet its demand, particularly the payment of the newly reviewed Medical Residency Training Fund and implementation of the new hazard allowance, among others. NAD President Dr. Godiya Ishaya confirmed this today while speaking with journalists at a virtual meeting to to decide the next line of action in Abuja. Dr. Ishaya explained that National Executive Council members decided to suspend the strike ultimatum because of the level of progress made by the federal government in meeting some of its demands. It further explained that the Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning has approved the payment of the Medical Residency Training Fund. It will be recalled that the association's contact last month extended the ultimatum by another 2 weeks, which elapsed last week over the implementation of the hazard allowance, among others. The Independent National Electoral Commission has stated its resolve to go after those who sponsor electoral offenders in the country. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this in his opening remark at the retreat on the Ekiti and Osun recycle governorship elections in Lagos. He said the step became necessary because those who snatch ballot boxes or falsify election results are unlikely to be candidates in such elections, and that if the sponsors were not arrested, electoral malpractices will continue. He added and listed some of the possible challenges of the 2023 general elections to include voter population, number of polling units, security consideration, and election personnel. The INEC boss also said the commission will consult with Abdulsalami Abubakar-led National Peace Committee ahead of the commencement of the campaign by political parties, noting that the enormity of the election requires extensive consultation with all stakeholders. A civil society organization has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to compel political parties to present regular audit reports of their accounts in line with the provisions of the law. The chairman of the Electoral Forum, Professor Adebayo Olukoshi, issued the communique issued at the end of the 7th technical session of the organization today in Abuja, adding that INEC must also publish the audit report of their receiving them. He said that the forum has expressed various concerns about elections in Nigeria and recommended strategies to improve the electoral process ahead of the 2023 general election in consolidation of the democracy involving widespread compliance with rule of law to guarantee a level playing field for all candidates in elections. Professor Lukoshi added that INEC should train ad hoc staff on the proper placement of the voting cubicles to ensure secrecy of the ballot and privacy in relation to position of party agents during the voting process. Also, the media should aid in boycotting negative news and hate speeches and ensure balanced coverage. The just concluded screening exercise of aspirants for local government chairman by the State All Progressive Congress is geared towards arriving at unified candidate that is acceptable by the party loyalists across the state of Osun. Special advisor to the governor of political matters, Mr. Sunday Akere, who gave the insight in Osogbo, the state capital, expressed optimism that screening exercise and the primaries adopted by the party will go a long way in eliminating bickering among members as well as fortifying the party for a victorious outcome at the October 15 local government election. He speaks further.
There are still a huge number of people that were said to have been qualified. And because we decided that we want to use the direct primary mode of election, we did not want a situation where we will have crisis when there are so many numbers of people contesting. What we are doing as a party is to work on the aspirants, work on the leadership, and look at the possibility of reducing the areas of contest. Since we have about 393 wards, if it is possible for us to have understanding, almost over 100 or 150 of the councillorship seats have been returned unopposed. And what those ones will do is just affirmation that we are not expecting any crisis there, so therefore agree that, okay, you are the only sole candidate. The exercise is being conducted under the laws of the land. The OSEC that is conducting it, they have gone to the House of Assembly and have the laws regulating the process ratified and signed by Mr. Governor. So if they are now saying that they don't believe in this, they don't believe in that, it is left for them. We are going to go ahead with the process, and we know that for anybody to say you want to remove a democratically elected chairman, you have to fight the matter up to the Supreme Court.
The Osun State chapter of All Progressive Congress has faulted the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party over its reaction on the report of an election monitoring group, YAGA, on the July 22 Osun governorship election. A statement issued by the media advisor to the state chairman of APC in Osogbo, the state capital, expressed surprise at why PDP has been uncomfortable with the YAGA's report, while admonishing Osun PDP to give peace a chance. The statement explained that as a product of the rule of law, APC will continue to exercise its right to seek justice in a court of law. The People's Democratic Party in Osun State had earlier dismissed the report as by the election monitors YAGA as a non-issue. It will be recalled that a civil society organization, the Youth Initiative for Advocacy Group and Investment, YAGA, had pointed out that some alleged anomalies in the July 16 governorship election in the state. The executive director of YAGA, Mr. Samson Itodo, revealed that some issues in Osun election affected the processing of results on the IRAD platform, which he noted was targeted at providing information. Itodo said the Osun election 87 results were not processed on the IRAD due to some issues. The statement added that it is right for the APC and Governor Yetola to seek justice in the court of law. Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSEC, has described as baseless and unfounded the rumor that the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo has stopped the permission from conducting the local government elections slated for October 15. A statement by the Commission's chairman, Otumba Segun Oladiton, revealed that the PDP in the state entered an application to amend their originating summon, which was granted by the court and adjourned the matter till September 26 for rehearing. It adds that the People's Democratic Party had approved the Federal High Court Osogbo on the matter in review of the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022. The Osun State Independent Electoral Commission can validly conduct the October 15 local government poll, which has not been argued. The statement assured the general public that the Commission is on the verge of conducting credible and acceptable election. Meanwhile, a counsel to the People's Democratic Party, Ashim Abiuye, expressed satisfaction that the court granted the party's application to amend its originating summon, since the Osun State Electoral Act was made after filing a case to stop the October local government election. Mr. Abiuye explained that other matters questioning the legality of the poll had been adjourned till September 26. The Joint Association of People with Disabilities has called for speedy presentation of the Protection and Involvement of the People with Disabilities Act before the Osun State House of Assembly. The association made the call at a news conference held in Osogbo, the state capital. Olaide Adebero was there. The report.
Chairman of Joint National Association of People with Disabilities, Jonapwid, Osun State Chapter, Mr. Femi Stephen, appealed to the government to domesticate the Act Against Discrimination of People with Disabilities. Mr. Stephen stressed that members of the association face a lot of inhumane treatment from the society, thereby urged concerned authorities to correct the abnormalities.
We are here to say to the world about the problem we are facing concerning the disability bill.
While addressing the gathering, the former state chairman of Jonapwid, Mr. Kehinde Onitiju, said many things have been put in place to ensure that the bill for inclusion get to the State House of Assembly so that it will become a law.
We have consulted the appropriate quarters for the domestication of the Discriminating Against Persons with Disability Act in Osun. We try our best, but all our effort was abortive. Not quite long, about a year ago, when Fajemilo Foundation, Kai, So Life, and other supported CSOs rise up to get our bill domesticated by Osun State government.
In their separate address, the Executive Director for FESFAD Foundation, Mr. Festus Fajemilo, and the Director of Kai 4SR, Mrs. Eni, also expressed their concern on how people treat people with disabilities, maintaining that domesticating the acts against discrimination of people with disabilities, life will be more bearable for them. Also speaking, the former women leader of the association, Mrs. Fumi Abdullahi, and the owner of Soul Life Foundation, Mrs. Adiola Falana, stressed the need to break the physical, social, political, and economic barriers facing people with disability.
We want what is rightly for everybody. We want it for person with disability. So far, the person is qualified.
Olaide Adegbenro, OSBC News.
Now welcome to our sports segment. President Muhammadu Buhari has announced 200 million gifts for the Nigerian medalists at the various international games, including the Commonwealth Games at Birmingham, with the sum of 200 million naira alongside national honors for their outstanding performances. President Buhari, who made the announcement at the presidential reception for the Team Nigeria to the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, equally commended the Minister of Youth and Sport, Sunday Dari, for a job well done. Omotayo Adebodun now brings details.
Government honored members of Team Nigeria's contingent to the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Nigeria contingent won a total of 35 medals at the Games, including 12 gold, 9 silver, and 14 bronze medals, to end the competition as Africa's best team and finished in the top 10 ranking in the competition. In his remarks, President Muhammadu Buhari commended all the athletes for bringing glory and honor to the country. He appreciated the effort of the coaches, backroom staffs, and everyone who has been supporting the sportsmen and women. According to President Buhari, his administration will continue to be committed to the development of sport and will continue to create an enabling environment for sport to thrive, not just as a recreation, but also as a business and means of investment. President Buhari also commended the giant stride from the Ministry of Youth and Sports under the leadership of Mr. Sunday Dari.
You have all distinguished yourselves as well as the ambassadors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are proud of you. Exploits have gone a long way in projecting the...
And bronze medalists were awarded national honors of the Federal Republic Class 2, and consequently announced he needed more surgery on his knee, having previously had 2 operations, a record until he was surpassed by Djokovic in February 2021. Omotayo Adebodun, OSBC News.
Over now to Tafikat Abdulhakim for foreign news.
President William Ruto of Kenya scrapped the subsidy on petrol, saying subsidies were unsustainable in a move that could, including causing artificial shortage of the subsidized product. As the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority said new half of its troops have been killed this week during border clashes with Armenia, which marked the worst fighting between the rival neighbors since the 2020 war over the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh in and around Nagorno-Karabakh that had been controlled by ethnic Armenian forces backed by Yerevan since an earlier war in the as a result of an international law enforcement operation led by the Spanish Guardia Civil. With 2 of his associates were also arrested in Spain and 1 in United Kingdom. However, Europol did not name the suspect, but a source close to the investigation and Irish newspapers said it was John Francis Morrissey, 62, a known associate of the Kinahan gang based in Dubai. Taufikat Abdulhakim, OSBC News.
That ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thank you for watching. Good night.